Imagine being cornered by 6 strangers at a public market. All of them shouting that you are a terrible daughter, a bad sister, and an unchristian failure, all because your father cheated, died, and left a mess behind. That is what happened to my 15-year-old daughter on her birthday. And when I discovered what was really going on behind the scenes, I made sure my ex-in-laws' entire church knew the ugly truth they were hiding. If you have ever wished you could serve justice to people who bully and manipulate others, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you enjoy satisfying revenge stories, because this one is brutal, messy, and oh so sweet. My name is Claire. I am 46, and my life has been anything but peaceful in the last year. My ex-husband died suddenly in an accident. But instead of closure, he left behind chaos. He had been cheating on me for years. He even had 2 sons with his affair partner. As cruel fate would have it, the woman he cheated with also died in the same accident, leaving those boys orphaned. I know what you are probably thinking. Children are innocent. And they are. But here is the painful part. It wasn't me who discovered the affair. It was my daughters, 17 and 15 at the time. They found the truth and were devastated. Their whole world shattered. Imagine being a teenager and realizing your father not only betrayed your mother but had secretly built another family behind your back. That kind of wound does not heal easily. And then my ex-in-laws, his parents in their late 70s and 80s, decided to make everything worse. They tried to take me to court for custody of my own daughters. And when that failed, they pressured me to let those orphan boys move into our home. But my daughters were already in therapy. They were grieving and traumatized. They were not ready to become sisters to their father's affair children. And I was not going to force that on them. That is when things turned ugly. Every Saturday, our town has a farmer's market. Fresh eggs, vegetables, meats, and lots of local sweets. My youngest had a birthday coming up, so I gave her some money and let her enjoy herself. It was supposed to be a fun day. But after an hour, she still had not returned. Then my phone rang. She was crying. "Mom, these people won't let me leave. They are yelling at me." My heart dropped. I grabbed my older daughter and we ran. What I saw made my blood boil. 6 older churchwomen had surrounded my child. 6 adults against one crying 15-year-old. They wagged their fingers and shouted that she was unchristian for refusing to see her grandparents. They told her she was selfish for not stepping up to care for her poor orphan baby brothers. My daughter's hands were shaking. Her face was red from crying. She wasn't just upset. She was humiliated. I stepped between them and my girl. I told my older daughter to pay for her sister's things and get to the car. I would handle this. One of the women sneered at me and said, "You should be ashamed. You are failing as a Christian wife. Your in-laws should be obeyed." I laughed in her face. "Funny," I said. "I am not anyone's wife. And I don't take orders from bullies hiding behind a Bible." The shouting got so heated that security asked us to leave. And those women followed me all the way to my car like vultures. That night, after I tucked my daughters into bed, I sat alone, shaking with rage. I needed answers. I reached out to a friend still in that church. He apologized but then told me what was really happening. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a huge sob story in the church Facebook group. She painted me and my daughters as monsters. She claimed we were leaving them homeless and penniless. She said we were heartless for refusing to take in the orphan boys. And the worst part? People believed her. Members of the church flooded her with sympathy. They called my daughters selfish. They called me a failure of a mother. But here is the problem. That church has one strict rule. They do not tolerate cheating. So how did she explain the affair and the 2 children? She told everyone that the affair partner was our surrogate. That I had refused to take in the babies because they were boys. It was vile. That was the moment I decided. Enough was enough. I still had all the evidence from the divorce that never finalized before my ex died. And I had proof. Photos of him kissing his mistress in our living room. Texts between them. Messages between him and his parents where they admitted they knew and supported him. Emails where my in-laws called my daughters bastards and blamed them for their father's death, just 2 days after he died. That was it. I was done. I went to a print shop and paid extra for glossy, high-quality copies of every piece of evidence. Then I spent hours at my kitchen table creating neat binders. On the outside, they looked like the little hymn books the church hands out before service. But inside? A completely different story. The very first page was a full-color photo of my ex and his mistress making out. Underneath I wrote, "Ex-husband and mistress love story." The next morning, I slipped into the church before service. Quietly. I placed those binders neatly on the back desk with the real hymnals. Then I walked out. The gossip mill exploded. People opened those books expecting songs. Instead, they got a front row seat to years of lies, betrayal, and abuse. Within hours, the church Facebook group was on fire. People were furious, not at me, not at my daughters, but at my ex and his parents. The insults were so bad the pastor himself had to step in just to calm things down. My daughters received apology letters. Actual handwritten apologies from members who had judged them too harshly. And my ex-in-laws? They stopped showing their faces at church altogether. My ex-mother-in-law even made a sad little Facebook post about how no one cares for the elderly anymore and how she wished her great son was still alive to protect her. Please. Her great son was living off me while cheating behind my back. I don't regret what I did. My daughters deserve the truth. They deserve to be defended. Sometimes revenge is not about being cruel. It is about pulling back the curtain and letting the world see reality. And for my ex-in-laws, the truth was enough to destroy their reputation. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button right now. Tell me in the comments, what is the most satisfying revenge you have ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will make you believe in karma all over again.